Every tree is perfectly made for the setting that it's in. The same way you are perfectly
Greetings to all who are sharing in this celebration with us
Hello,
today.
my name is
I
Dr.
am
Yvonne
Dr.
Murray-Larrier, and I am the creator of the Cultivating Seeds System Framework. The Sowing Seeds with My Time video series is one of many social emotional teaching of your thoughts because they shape your life. Hello, my friends. I want to just share a quick story with you about the impact that the we're on a mission to make social emotional wellness support accessible to every individual locally and globally.
GCSCORED and you will see an opportunity to work in what is called the Rumertime process.
As air is to life, so are social emotional behind every behavior is a belief or a mindset. Take care of the roots, and the fruits will take care of themselves.
Focus on is educating, equipping, and empowering individuals from no need to suffer to be able to. We have trained wellness champions.
My mental health is your business, and your mental health is my business. To become conscious problem solvers and empowered life coaches. That's the why. That's why you need to choose GC Scored as your partner.
Placed a dream within your heart, and if you make a start, He wants for you to know. All of your needs He will supply. He's always standing by. He's there to see you through. So keep on climbing until you reach your goal. Just keep on striving with all your heart and soul. All things are possible with God. So don't give in. He'll move your mountains. He believes in your dreams. And when the road ahead seems long, with faith you can be strong. He's there to show the way. With every step you know what's right. You conquer in His mind. He'll bring that brighter day. You just keep on climbing until you reach your goal.
Well, hello, good people, good people. What's happening? What's happening? Ladies and gentlemen across the globe, it's about to go down. It's about to get real, real, real. I am so excited to be here. I keep saying it every year, every month, but I am. Today is the day. What is the day today? Could the rest of the team tell me what is the day today?
Hey, Laverne, you want to give us another drum roll?
It's the 10th anniversary. Literally.
Yes.
10 years ago, GC Scored was born.
My.
April 10th, 2013.
Beautiful.
That song you just heard, God placed a dream within my soul, within my heart. And I made a start. And here we are today. I am grateful. I want to give God praise and honor. All of it goes to Him.
Yeah.
I thank Him for choosing me, even though sometimes on the journey, I was like, why did you choose me to do this again? But you gotta take the favor with the struggles sometimes. And so we're here today. I'm Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier. I'm just excited. I'm overjoyed. I have my besties on the call with me, and we're just gonna have a ring ding dong time today. All right, all right. So So like I said, I'm Yvonne Murray-Larrier, and the rest of the team will introduce themselves. Sabrina, are you what?
I'll go last. Let them give a quick introduction, and I'll go last.
All right.
Okay, I'll go next. Hello, everyone. Again, I am Dr. Geneva Levy-Fleming, bringing you greetings from South Carolina, where it is in the 40s today, the day after Easter. But I'm enjoying it because I love chilly weather. But I share the excitement that Dr. Larrier is sharing today. It's such a meaningful day, especially after watching those snippets in the B-roll. It's almost like we've done so much that it passed us, right? But I'm like, oh, I remember when, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm just looking forward to the conversation today and then the outcome of this conversation. So Vanessa, I pass the mic to you.
Sure. Thank you. Oh, welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to help us celebrate 10 years of GC Scored. Yeah, 10 years. You can't tell we're excited, right?
No, they can't.
But my name is Vanessa Kelly Brew, and I am joining you all from Elkhart, Indiana, and that is the city with a heart. And I'm telling you, for me today, that is fitting because I want everyone to know that I definitely have a heart for GC Scored and the work that it has done and the lives that it has transformed and these past 10 years. So again, thank you all for joining us to celebrate today.
Yes.
I'm Laverne Shaw Bailey. I live in Fargo, North Dakota. And I tell Dr. Murray-Larrier all the time that the work that she's doing is not a joke. Like, it's real. There are hundreds of children every single day over the last 10 years who have better lives because of the work that she's been putting out in the world. And I am just so excited to relive some of those moments and how we came to this point. And as Dr. Geneva said, just excited to see where this continues to take us in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations to you guys too, because we've all been on this journey together. So, all right, Sabrina
is very kind. She's like, we've all been on this journey together. I am so new to this team, to this clan of women, to this garden of gorgeous plants that are bearing fruit to society. I'm happy to be here. But I'm Sabrina Taylor. I have been working with Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier in GC Scored just for a short snippet of time. But I'm honored that they included me to be a part of this episode, because this episode, we are taking a look back at GC Scored. We're taking a look back at the conception, the organization's growth, and the impact that it has had over the last decade. We're going to be talking about the impact it's going to have over the next decade. It's just, I'm so excited to be so new to the team and be a part of today. So I'm really glad that you guys are all here to join us as we explore the journey from planting a seed to growing into the thriving organization that it is today. But Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier, I'm sure that many people who are viewing right now are very familiar with this, but we have some people who have never been introduced to GC Scored who are seeing this for the first time. But on today, it is worth repeating This was like, where did the seed come from? This conception, how did we get here? Where did the kernel of an idea come from for GC Scored?
Okay. All right, we'll just go with it then. We normally have you remember the rumor time prayer and the mission. Are we just gonna
We're just going for it today.
We're just going for it today. All right. Well, I really would want to start with the prayer though. So
okay. Please. The prayer. Yes, I was about to say the prayer. We're not going to skip a prayer.
No, the rumor time prayer. So there we go. There we
go. Absolutely. And I'll take this because the prayer and our mission is what drives us. And actually, the rumor time prayer is foundational to everything that we do. So, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for this ACCESS Rumertime Conversations podcast. I thank you for allowing us to be chosen to be here because we are special and we matter to you. I pray that you will help us to recognize, understand, manage, express, and reflect on thoughts, interactions, mindsets, and emotions that are helpful, kind, wise, uplifting, and courageous. I pray that all who watch and all who listen, both today as well as in the future, that they would experience renewed minds, transformed lives, and they would be empowered to create safer communities wherever they are across the globe. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Now, following our prayer, we want to keep at our forefront, as well as the forefront of our viewers, our mission, our mission statement. So, which is to renew minds, to transform lives, and to create safer communities. That's our prayer and our mission.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you, Geneva. And within the prayer, you would see the rumor time process, right? Because it is not an adjunct. It's not a auxiliary concept. It is embedded. It's the DNA of everything this organization does. The rumor time process is at the core of everything, right? Is at the core of everything. It's embedded in the CSS framework, which is the Cultivating Seed System framework, and that is what we do. So your question, could you repeat the question again for me?
You just, Dr. Geneva, and you just added layers to the question. So I'm going to restructure the question that I just asked.
Okay.
Because I also want to just acknowledge, and I'm sure our viewers, please, you guys ask questions. We can see them as you're asking them. Please get involved. This is a conversation and a celebration today for all of us, but 10 years for any business. In 2023 to be celebrating 10 years, but much less a Black woman-owned business. And then on top of that, she is unapologetic about, telling the world that God was at the center of this concept. To thrive 10 years being a Black woman, putting your faith forward and leading this business in a way that is welcoming to all people of all faiths is such an acknowledge. I need to acknowledge that. It's a huge credit to you and your stewardship. But where did this come from? I know that, I would really love it if you could share the epicenter of GC Scored. I'm going to talk about everyone that's here, but I know you shared with me, it came from such a personal place. It came from pain. So, could you please tell us where this beautiful life came from?
Sure. I would be more than happy to share. Okay. So there's a quote, not mine. I have a lot of those, but this one is not mine. It is from Wintley Phipps, the song you just heard, for those of you who joined at the beginning. And his quote says, "It is in the quiet crucible of your personal private sufferings that your noblest dreams are born and God's greatest gifts are given. What was my quiet crucible of personal private sufferings? That was the genesis, or the DNA of what caused us to have this baby. My husband and I, Irwin Larrier, we got married in our early 40s, 40, 41. And as you know, and so as a young couple, you have dreams and plans of having a family, having children, and making a plan surrounding that and all of that wonderful stuff. Well, that was not what God wanted. And the journey to get to know that it was not what God wanted, that wasn't the dream God had for me. That wasn't the dream God had for us. That wasn't the plans. The Bible says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and harm you and not harm you. That was not one of the plans, because apparently if we went that route, it would have been a plan that may have harmed me, or you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Bible also talks about no good thing would he withhold from those that walk uprightly. And I always say, if I don't have it, it's not a good thing for me. Okay. So that was the private crucible. That was the private personal suffering that my husband and I went through. The whole journey of infertility. It was expensive. It was financially expensive. It was emotionally expensive. It was mentally expensive. It was relationally expensive. It was disappointing. And so then we ask the question, what now? What do you want from us? What do you want from us? And so from that suffering came the noblest dreams that God gave me.
Yeah.
Right? And so herein lies a culmination of all the years of experience, all the suffering and the joys, because it wasn't all just suffering. Right? So that's how we got to April 10th, 2013.
That's part of how you got to April 10th, 2013, because similar to raising anything up and growing anything, it takes a village. And I am so, I mean, I feel a little bit lucky to have shared a few moments of conversation with you guys before we went live. But this sisterhood you have surrounding you with Laverne, Vanessa, and Dr. Geneva, I mean, I am now aware that nothing could have come asunder here, because you've had a sisterhood lifting you up. Could you please just, let me first start with Dr. Geneva. Dr. Geneva, I know that had it not been for you, we wouldn't even have we may not have had Dr. Larrier here even in the United States to even start this process. Can you tell me a little bit about how you guys met, how your relationship formed, and how you sort of stepped into the shoes of being in this, weeding this garden with her to grow GC Scored?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will try to be brief because it goes back more than 30 years, actually. Hey. And Dr. Larry and I met in the early 90s in the state of California. And who would have imagined that we would be here X number of years later having a conversation such as this? But as she has shared, now she describes me in a way that I would not necessarily describe myself, but in hearing her description, it makes sense. I accept that. But she had a need, and I was in a position to assist her with that need. Now, that need at that time did not have anything to do with GC Scored. It was not even conceptual at that time. But the greater one, who lives within all of us, that lived within her and lived within me, had foresight and knew that such a time as this would come about. And he had purpose for Dr. Larrier. And part of that purpose was to be present, to be in a place, both mentally and physically, to launch this huge baby that's growing up, you know. So the baby, as she mentioned, was born in 2013, and now the baby is 10 years older, you know. But Yvonne at the time was an immigrant and needed assistance, and here I was in a position to assist her with moving that process along. And I am just I'm honored to have been in that place and, you know, in a position to assist her, because even with what we did during that time, it actually didn't manifest until after. But the seeds of her citizenship was planted back then, you know, through the interventions and the support that I provided. And then it eventually manifested some years later. So,
Dr. Geneva, that wasn't what you were doing for a living, you know, helping immigrants.
Oh, absolutely not.
So what was it in the connection between
Thank you. Okay, thanks for bringing it back. So at that time, I was a director in a hospital. So I was directing the case management, which is a combined group of social workers and nurses providing case management services to patients. Dr. Larrier at that time had just graduated with her bachelor's degree in social work.
Yeah, bachelor's in bachelor's in social work, master's in counseling.
And so that had been completed, and she was in California in search of a future. And she had what I needed at the time in my department, so I hired her. So she became one of my social workers at San Bernardino Community Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that connection, and my first encounter with the great Dr. Yvonne Murray, now Larrier.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Sabrina?
It does. It
and
does.
That's a snapshot. It really is a snapshot.
I want to use the terminology that I use. Geneva, I call her my Moses. Think about Moses bringing millions of people across, well, I think it's 1 million, 1 million people across the Red Sea with just the rod in his hand. Geneva had that position in her hand. And she helped me cross over from being a H-1B visa holder to a green card holder in a state where there's a lot of immigrants, in a time where there were lots of people with degrees. And Geneva stuck with me and helped me cross over that Red Sea. To God be the glory. Thank you. I can never, ever forget the kindness that you did for me. Never, ever.
Sisterhood. Never. Black women supporting Black women.
Never forget
it. Just makes me so happy and proud. You know, we're going to toss to a video. Today we have some of the people who really have been a part of this journey have sent in some testimonials. So we're going to right now share a video with that we have, and we'll come back and discuss after that. We'll just stay with us. Sean?
Congratulations, GC Scored. You have attained 10 years of colossal achievements. I remember the time before there was a gorgeous website as we have today, before your connection with the many Caribbean islands, before Guyana and Ghana and the countries of Africa, before South America joined your ranks. I remember the time before the American Counseling Association president was the keynote speaker at one of your early conferences. I remember a time before the CACREP accrediting body for counselor education programs declared you an innovative program. I remember the early professional journal editions that you fostered. And now you stand as strong, but with more accomplishments piled upon more, with growing thousands of children walking the earth as more emotionally intelligent and more adjusted, and with professionals strutting their effective skills in guiding these children. Our celebratory glasses are filled with awe and joy as we drink to your health and to many more decades of optimum mental health for all the world's children.
Awesome.
Nice, nice, nice.
So yeah, so let's spend a few moments before reading what's in the chat. All right, so if each of us can read some of the stuff in the chat out loud. So
I'll read one from the chat first.
Okay.
Martha, who I'm really enjoying Martha's chats. She said, "This is a huge success. Congratulations, GC Scored, and thank you for making a great impact in people's lives." She also says that she really admires Dr. Larrier's doggedness. And doggedness. Oh, okay. Thank you for making lemonades out of lemons, and that the Lord really blessed you with the right associations.
Oh, thank you, Martha. Martha is from one of the African countries. I think is Malawi. I'm not too sure. Martha could let us know.
Kalisha says, Dr. Larrier is an extraordinary woman. Congratulations to 10 years of social emotional goodness. May God continue to power this organization. I matter, you matter, we all matter. Excited for the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then there is Victoria. Victoria, happy anniversary, GC Scored. I know Victoria is from Malawi. I believe she's from Malawi.
I'm going to take us, before we read more, because we're going to come back to that, I'm going to take it to someone who's from Fargo. Laverne, you said you're from Fargo?
Fargo, North Dakota.
I did not know there were sisters in Fargo.
Oh, yeah, we got sisters up here. Okay. Not all of them are Black, but we still
okay. But Laverne, I really love, you go way back to Dr. Yvonne from childhood, I hear. Tell me a little bit about.
I mean, Yvonne
watch him out.
I was first, okay? But I was a grown woman of 19 years old. Okay? Let's just get that straight. And I knew that I was going places and I was mature and I knew things. And I met Yvonne. She already had her older friends, and I just thought I was so cool hanging with her and her older friends. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I have just been on a journey with her this entire time. So my role with GC Scored, I haven't been on the board. You know, I've been in some positions as an editor for her journal, and I was at her conference. Like, there's lots of things that I've done behind the scenes. But my role with Yvonne, with GC Scored, is twofold. I am the one who helps her take the big words and the big concepts and the lots and lots of words for those concepts. Yvonne can be quite verbose.
Yeah, no idea what you're talking about.
It's one of those words.
That's one of those words.
And so I'm a springboard. You know, we talk at night, in the morning. She bounces these ideas off of me when she was coming up with the name, when she's coming up with the name of the organization, with the name of her programs. I'm just behind the scenes, allowing her to just throw it all out there and see how it sticks. And that has been the joy of my life. I don't consider myself the most ambitious person in the world, but I have enjoyed being so connected to someone who is a visionary and to hopefully have a little bit of that rub off of me from time to time, you know. So my first interaction with her for GC Scored is, you know, just being that sounding board. And then my second is I now have a daughter who is 14 years old. And through Yvonne's work, I was instrumental in helping her bring one of her other visions into birth, her Rumertime summer camp. Because my daughter, she was having some difficulties, some emotional difficulties, and I had put her in a program. And while that program helped to get us over the hump, it didn't really give me any tools to hold on to for the rest of the time. And so I talked to Dr. Murray-Larrier about, I need something. And she was like, I have what you need. Okay. I have the thing that
I just like her when you do that too. I have what you need.
I have what you need. And so that collaboration with my experience and Yvonne's knowledge birthed this Rumertime summer camp that has been phenomenal. Just phenomenal in teaching children and young adults how to have these beautiful social emotional skills in their life. And so this beautiful friendship that we've had since I was always a woman at 19.
Not.
Every chance she gets, she tries to remind me that is not the case. Even now, I'm almost 53 years old, and even right now, she's still trying to act like I'm not a grown woman. So this has just been the joy of my life to be involved with Yvonne and the work and the other people in her life. You know, everyone that Yvonne surrounds herself with are these people who support and help her grow. If you're not helping her do that, bye.
Yeah.
So it's been a joy to be a part of that and watch her grow.
You know, I hear what you're saying, because we met at church, and she sort of made a beeline over to me and immediately addressed some of the things she knew I needed to pay attention to help me grow. And here I am. So I know she's a keeper of people, which is what, you know, saving, not necessarily like I'm coming to you, Vanessa, because she met you in school. She was a professor. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know one of the things that she says about you is I met her as a student and I couldn't let her go. She wanted to help and help you grow and have you be a part of GC Scored. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I will share like my first introduction to Dr. Larrier. And so I was interviewing for the master's program for mental health counseling. And I had the privilege of being interviewed by Dr. Larrier. And I was so nervous about the interview because this was a big deal, right? And this was going to, in my mind, help be one of the deciding factors as to whether or not I got into the program. And so when I got in there, it was her and two other people. And so I was just so nervous. And one of the things that Dr. Larrier said to me was, by the time that this program is over, that nicely coiffed hair of yours is going to be all over your head. and I was in shock. And that scared me even more. And I mean, and I just sort of started laughing because I thought, oh my God. But thankfully, I made it into the program. And Dr. Larrier was my first professor. And for me, that I tell you, I mean, it was monumental for me as a Black woman in a in a master's program to have another Black woman in the position of teaching. And honestly, I felt like because she was there, I knew that I could do it. And so, and she was just a support, not only to me, but to all of the students in that program. And when I graduated from the program, I approached Dr. Larrier and I said to her, you know, I really want to continue to learn about how to do research. And she said to me, I got the thing for you. I'm going to put you to work. And she did. She put me to work. And so I actually became part of GC Scored. It was in 2017. And that was after my graduation. And so initially I came on, I helped her similar to Laverne. I helped her with some editing with the curriculum that she was creating. And she's just kept me. And Sabrina, you used the word keeper of people. And that is exactly what she did. Right. And so throughout this whole process, she has been helping me to learn and to grow. And one thing that I really want to say, again, is that I was in a mental health program, and what we learned was the foundational theories for counseling. What Dr. Larrier has introduced is a whole different way to approach mental health. And this is from a social emotional perspective. And again, this is culturally competent. And I say that because all of the foundational theories that I learned about in school were created by older white men, older European men who had no idea about the kind of life I, myself, and others, you know, people of color live. And so, you know, again, I see that what Dr. Larrier has done, you know, has been like, again, you know, monumental, because again, it does reach out to everyone. This is culturally a cultural perspective, right? And it talks about issues that we deal with. Gives us the tools, like Laverne said, gives us the tools to be able to problem solve, to be conscious, you know, and to transform our own lives. And so I have been, you know, blessed really to be part of this and to meet all of these amazing women and to just be a part of helping to teach other people how to live, you know, conscious lives. So thank you.
I remember the first Rumor Time summer camp that we had.
I was. That was also part of my, like, you know, indoctrination, was that I was part of that first summertime camp that Laverne talked about. And again, was able to work with families. So we worked with the children, and we worked with parents to help them be able to communicate with each other, and to be able to sit down and really talk to each other about things that were challenging in their lives, and to be able to learn how to address those things and grow from those things.
And I remember, Vanessa, that, you know, because I was one of those parents when we did the parent part during the Rumor Time camp, and I was there as a parent. And I think the first one, Yvonne ran that session. And I remember I think you came in and ran the second session. And I remember in my mind thinking, number one, that Dr. Larrier was unafraid to give power. That was her baby. But she was willing to give power and responsibility to another person, you. And you came in there and you took on that responsibility, and you like channeled the mission and the vision of how Yvonne wanted to run that session. And I just, at that moment, I never told you this, but I remember thinking how beautiful that was, that synchronicity, you know, to go, Yvonne being able to let go and give you the reins, and you taking that and embodying that. It was beautiful.
Wow. Wow. Thank
Wow,
you.
that's really good. Thank you, Laverne, for that observation.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I am truly blessed. And, you know, my parents, my mom especially, used to say, one of the blessings that God gave me, one of the gifts that God gave me, is the gift of friendship. I have never had friends who were, you know, just raga. You know, I never had. I was always blessed with friends who would build me up, who would support, who would help, you know, be like sisters. And it really, some people are blessed with money. I'm blessed with friendships.
Well, sisterhood and friendships are like bank accounts. You really get out what you put in, and you're someone who really puts value in to people, which is why you've gotten value back. You know, I'm thinking about the video we saw of Joy. You know, she really, like, I think it was Dr. Geneva said, wow, she just took you down memory lane. Can you tell me a little bit, you know, about Joy?
So Joy is a former colleague of mine. She actually kind of still does some adjunct teaching for me. She was on the search committee that brought me to Indiana University South Bend.
Wow.
And I knew her previously, but not as well as I know her now. And so when the idea about GC Scored came about, she was still one of my colleagues at IUSB, Indiana University South Bend, Counseling and Human Services. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. I think you can do it. I don't have what you have, but I will cheer you on. And so she was one of the first board members. Joy was one of the first board members. She helped me with the strategic plan for the first, our first strategic plan. And I remember when we had our first board meeting, she was here, she came, and it was at the house. And so when we did, and the counseling department had to do, as she said, we did an accreditation, a re-accreditation of our program. And she was correct in saying, and they have it even written in the report, that the GC Scored, our international vision and our international reach, is one of the things that helped us to get re-accredited.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. GC Scored's international reach helped the Counseling and Human Services Department to become re-accredited in 2012, 2013.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and so she was there, and for those of you who know what accreditation is, it is no easy task. And so I was really pleased about that commendation. And so Joy continues to support us in different ways. She now is in Arizona, and so
wait, there are Black people in Arizona? No, just kidding.
Sabrina, we are everywhere.
We are everywhere. Yes.
I don't want people of other races to think that we're not. This is not what.
No, this is such an international
Yes.
organization. And in fact, I want to watch my words, especially because you are Dr. Larrier and you are very verbose. But mental health is not a space where we identify women of color in leadership roles. And I think that's why I have really hammered home the sisterhood today and the Black women's presence in it. But I do not want to leave an impression that this is not one of the most internationally, the mosaic of people that are attached to GCSCORED is just impressive. It's just impressive. But we've talked a lot about some of the fertilizer, the women that are here that really are just giving the nutrients to this vision. I really want to talk about where we are as an organization, and then of course where we're going and some of the things that we're doing right now. But before we do that, Sean, do you mind playing another video for us? I know we have another message. I believe it's from Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan Hensley, a quality assurance analyst with Orbis Education and longtime supporter of and volunteer with GCSCORED. I'd like to wish a very happy 10th anniversary to GCSCORED and blessings to all who have benefited from the important work being accomplished. I first became involved with GCSCORED in its infancy. In 2013, I was wrapping up my graduate degree and volunteered with my professor and mentor, Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier. My initial work involved the development of the organization's logo. I then served as a project manager in the creation of GCSCORED'S first conference website. My contributions throughout the years now revolve around curriculum consultation and e-learning course development. I've been inspired to see GCSCORED grow from a fledgling idea into a mission, a single melody into a chorus of voices that guide people into deeper community cohesion. This mission of renewing minds, transforming lives, and creating safer communities is so vital in these uncertain times. Helping people to learn the correlation between their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors allows them to mindfully and conscientiously define their sense of self and nurture their relationships. GCSCORED has made dramatic and intentional strides towards this mission in its 10 years, and I'm eager to see the further growth and sharpening of focus in the coming years. I want to share my best wishes for the continued mission of GCSCORED. I will continue to support, pray, and cheer for the excellent and caring work of my friends and the blessing of those who are impacted by their message.
I didn't script that, y'all, that she was not African American, just so you know. But first of all, I just want to let you know that Martha and Victoria, they are both from Nigeria, not Malawi.
Okay.
Again, talking about the international reach
Right.
of GCSCORED. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Megan.
Yeah, so Megan, gifted, talented. She actually helped, like she said, I think she said, she talked about the website, but she also helped with the idea of the logo, right? And for those of you who, I don't know if we can pull up a quick picture of the logo. Our logo is
And it's also on your shirt.
It's also on my shirt, yes. Yeah. And it's a globe. There it is. It's a globe with different pieces, puzzle pieces. And the colors signify the earth, the world, right? So the blue is for the water, the green is for the forest and the trees, and the brown is for the soil. And so, our tagline is every piece matters. And she created it. And if you notice, there's the G, and within the G is the C. Right? So within the G is the C, and within the C is the globe with the puzzle pieces.
It's beautiful.
That signifies earth, water, and foliage. So everything we do, what I want to say, everything we do is purposeful and intentional. And Megan was able to capture what it is I wanted to do. And we've reimagined it. But we've changed the logo, but not much. Just maybe the font and some of those things, but all the main pieces that Megan put together for us, they are still there and they will continue to be there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And speaking of soil, just like in gardening, sometimes you have to prune and cut back certain things to help something grow stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about where GC Scored is presently. Tell us some of the things that you see happening right now that you would like to till the soil around.
Okay. Well, thank you. So right now, today, if you go to Amazon or even our Shopify store, you will have available to you our latest book that is dropping today. It is a combo or a bundle. It's the mindfulness, it's the guided mindfulness activity quote book and 75 quotes, quote cards. Okay. So it's a quote book and the cards that go along with it. And in this book, you will get to experience the different quotes that over the years I've come up with. And each of these quotes, and I'm going to read something to you about that. Um, each of these quotes, I try to make them easy to understand, short, but they are grounded in nature, right? And so the title of the book is Cultivating Relationships Mindfully, Making Meaning Using Nature. Again, Laverne helped me with the title for this book. So that's the kind of book, that's what Laverne helps me with. I would say, Laverne, I have this idea. Here's what, and we would sit on the phone or whatever, and we would wordsmith and change it up and be like, nah, that doesn't, nah. That's for years. That's Laverne's. And she knows if I send her WhatsApp, we need to do the work. All right. And so so the book is focused on the quotes, and it goes through the rumertime process with you, right? It goes through the rumertime process with you by asking questions such as, what does the quote mean to you? What does it make you think about? What does it make you do? What mindset does it evoke? What feelings get activated? And guess what? You get to create your own quote at the end of each section. So you are being guided, is what I'm saying. Even in your mindfulness space, you are being guided to create as well. Because all of us have that ability to create. And I just want to give you a story about how I came about writing quotes. And I believe this is where it came from. No, so I tell the story in the book as well. Growing up in a home in the Caribbean, we would have family worship every morning, early in the morning. My dad was a pastor, Pastor Murray, and my mom, she was a pastor's wife, played the piano, blah blah blah. And Daddy, minister of religion, led out in this daily activity. It was just a part of my upbringing. That's just how the household ran. So part of that morning ritual was singing, reading scripture, and some other spiritual book. My siblings and I were required to listen to me, think about and share what we read and make meaning of that reading. This segment of the family worship was prefaced by the question from Daddy: what do you gather from the reading today? What do you gather from the reading today? I'm sure my brothers could tell you, they will never forget that line. What did you gather from that reading today? In other words, what meaning can you make from what you have read? What is your perspective of the reading? This is the activity that encouraged me to be a critical thinker. Now, at the time, I didn't see the value in it. I just wanted to get back in my bed. Okay. That's all I wanted to do. And to be so now that I'm a critical thinker and I'm able to make meaning out of events, out of readings, and out of life. And that this is where I believe the seed of quote making was planted. I don't know was never an acceptable answer, ever. I can hear Daddy saying, put your thinking caps on.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where I believe the genesis of all these quotes. I know my students, as I go through teaching, I have moments where I just get the inspiration. I'm like, oh, I'm teaching something and something comes out of that conversation and I write it down. And so I call the quote cards Larrier-isms, because that's what my students said they were, right? Oh, here's another one of the Larrier-isms, so that's kind of where the name, the back of the cards came from, in terms of the name. And so that's like the main thing right now, the book and the quotes. And you can see it's available on Amazon and the GC Scored store. The QR code is on the screen. It is $65.95 for the combo. All right. For the book and the cards. These cards are conversation starters. They are relationship connectors. They are mindfulness stimulators. And these cards, you can use them in any setting, at any time. So that's one of the big projects that just got finished, hot off the press, and we're excited about. And there's some other exciting things.
Vanessa, show us your shirt. Show us your shirt.
Oh, I don't know.
Vanessa, yes, Vanessa, show us your shirt.
Let me see if you can see this. Can you guys see this?
It says empathy is an action word. And that's a Larrier-ism.
That's a Larrier-ism. Yes. Yes.
You get those kinds of t-shirts from and sweatshirts.
It's a sweatshirt. Yes.
It's a sweatshirt. It's a hoodie. You can get them on the GC Scored Shopify store. And I'm sure Sean will put it up for us here in a moment. And the QR code that's on the screen with the book, it will lead you to the Shopify, GC Scored Shopify store. And so that's another project we launched in, we always had a store, but we went to Shopify in over the Thanksgiving holiday in 2022. And Geneva can talk about, all of you can talk about different programs that we have.
Yeah, I would love it if each of you guys could talk about, the programs that right now that the ones that you guys really, I'm sure you connect to all of them, but if you could, same way we read quotes from the audience, could each of you talk a little bit about a program?
Well, I always have to talk about the Rumortime Summer Camp.
Yeah.
Because when I say that I paid thousands of dollars when my daughter was in social emotional crisis, she's okay with me telling her story. All I will say is that she had a suicidal episode. And my husband and I, she was in 3rd grade, and we were freaking out. We did not know what to do. Mm-hmm. So there's a place in town where you can go. It's a small town that we live in, and so there's really just one place. And so we went there, and it was she didn't stay there. What do you call it when you go there?
Outpatient.
Yeah, so it was
treatment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outpatient treatment. And it helped us over the hump. We were able to avert the crisis, but as I said earlier, they're just the conversations that they had with us.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what we were going to do when we got her home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no conversation about the system, our family dynamics, and how our family dynamics could have been contributing to the issues that she was having. And when I talked to Yvonne about this, it's just like the child exists in a system. It's not just this child waking up one morning and having issues. And if you don't address the family,
Mm-hmm.
you can do whatever you want with that child. That child still comes back to your family.
That's right.
And so when I talked to her about the summer camp, and she was so clear that this was not going to happen unless the parents were going to be committed to participating. If you're not going to be willing to participate in this system, this is not the program for you.
And that's exactly what I said, right, Laverne?
Yeah, 100%. And so I cannot tell you how having that framework, having that structure, knowing a place that we could go to lock in to, well, what are you thinking about how are you reflecting on your thoughts? Just the question, well, what are you thinking? Well, how's your mindset? Well, what are you understanding about that? I mean, it seems so simple. It's not like some earth-shattering thing. No offense, Yvonne, okay?
I'm good.
Earth-shattering thing. Is that she was able to take these things that we know work and put them into a system. That you can
Laverne, for me, it was her facts are not feelings. It's not rocket science, but sometimes somebody just needs to lay it out there. I'm sorry, I stepped on what you were saying.
Oh, well, I mean, I probably was going on and on as I could do about Rumor Time, but that is the program that is most meaningful to me, and I have seen the results of this work that she put out in the world. And as I said earlier, it's not a joke. This is not a play. It's the real deal. Like, it's real children and real families who go to these camps and whose lives are transformed as a result of being there.
Absolutely. And if I could add to that, Laverne, one of the other dynamics of the Rumor Time Family Summer Camp, the piece that you've mentioned, the parents must be there. But even though parents sometimes sign up, there's that initial thinking that this is camp as usual. This is where I sign my kid up and they do whatever they do, play ball, whatever they do. But our camp, we have orientation, right? So there's a whole evening of orientation with parent and child to give them that perspective. And I don't know of any other camp in the universe that requires parental participation. It's the Rumor Time Family Summer Camp. It is not camp as usual. And that is a transformational thinking right there for adults. Oh, I have to participate in a camp. I work, I do, but out of the mind of Dr. Larrier, not only was it possible, but it is happening, and it is life changing for those parents who have participated.
I know one of the things, before Vanessa jumps in, one of the things that I've told people, some parents will say, well, I don't have time to come. I got, I'm working and da, 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 da. And here, you know what I say to them? I said, here's what you need to evaluate. Do you prefer to get called by the school to come and pick your child up because they're acting up? Or do you prefer to spend 2 weeks in the summer in a preventative way so that you don't have to take time off work during the school year? You make the decision because, is mandatory. So, but you can't eat your cake and have it too. You can't say, oh, my child is giving me problems. The school is calling every minute. And then saying, well, what am I supposed to do? You have to put some work in. Laverne had to put the work in. Other families put the work in.
Mhm.
Children don't just grow up and know how to behave in every setting. They don't know how to deal with their emotions. You have to be there to guide them. And if you don't know, you come to the camp as well, so that we can help you. So anyway, go ahead.
And that is a systems approach to things. So yes, families are indeed a system. However, that same concept applies to a larger systems like
Exactly.
organizations. And I'll just talk about schools for a second, because like many parents, the system has that microwave mindset. Oh, it's the child. We single out the child based on behavior, which in our world, we use an agriculture metaphor for everything, because we believe every piece, everything matters. And so a school system would single out, they will focus on the behavior and try to problem solve the behavior and not look at the root of where that behavior started from. And they will never be successful with that type of thinking and belief system. So I wanted to point that out as Dr. Larry is talking about parents and their role and responsibility. So the same applies to systems. And so many systems are looking for a quick fix. Because the focus is on the wrong thing. The problem is with the children not taking the time to look at the system and how perhaps the system may be contributing to some things, maybe contributing to the way the parent is responding, which in turn impacts how the child would respond. So there's no single thing. There's no single Sally here. Every piece matter. Every piece of the system, from the micro to the macro to the big. So I wanted to share that. But Sabrina, looks like you wanted to ask something.
I was just
I saw your lights flashing.
You see me, I have such a bad habit of mine that I jump in, like because I'm so engrossed. I'm like, no, okay, I'm sorry. But I know we're talking a lot about family support. It's very, I just wanted to say, in addition to that, like there's a young girl at our church that I think I was telling Yvonne, I don't necessarily like her, but she is connected with me. And she looks for me, she talks to me, she trusts me, she opens up to me. And I am having such a hard time thinking about what you're saying, right? Because I only see her maybe an hour a week at church. Now, during the hour a week, my mother is a behavioral counselor. Her specialty was children. So I might have picked up some techniques. I don't have a degree, right? But I know that when this young woman speaks to me, I give her my full attention. I don't judge. I don't necessarily react. I am all ears. But it's like her mother has said, I'm so grateful. She's not even going to counseling with her pastor anymore. She can just spend time with you. And I always think I have her for maybe an hour a week. The system that she's stewing in has her for all the rest of the time. It would be nice if her parents were involved. The way you're talking about this summertime camp, the orientation, you expect the parents to be involved. So I'm just connecting to what a lot of what you guys are saying. And speaking of parents being involved, Sean, can you share a picture? I know that Yvonne's brother, Dr. Desmond Murray, sent over to share with the team for today on some of the reason who brought us, who produced Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier. Look at that.
Look at mommy and daddy. Yes.
Oh, wisdom right there on the picture.
Yes. Daddy is no longer with us, but mommy is 93 and she is full of life and social emotional skills. The woman is she is one of the most encouraging people, mindful and uplifting person. So those are my parents, and I wanted to make sure that we pay tribute to them.
Yes.
Because without them, I wouldn't be me.
What are their names?
Hartwell Murray and Oldest Murray.
Hartwell and Oldest.
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 Auldith.
Oldest.
Yeah, Auldith.
Do you mind? And Sean, I know that Yvonne's brother sent another picture. Could you share that one as well? Ah, Yvonne, this is from your brother. Would you like to read it?
No, somebody should read it.
I'll read it. All right. You are a minister and a parent. Congratulations on the 10th anniversary of GC Scored. You brought it to life, and each day you have fed it, given it sustenance and energy and purpose. You're a parent and a minister too, just like your dad. You give hope to others by meeting their needs where they are. You give them a vision of their best lives and the tools, attitudes, and spirit to get there. You are a parent and a minister. Continued blessings, and continue to bless for another 10 years and beyond. Dr. Desmond Murray.
Oh, my big brother.
That's very sweet.
Yes.
Vanessa, do you mind talking to us about some of these programs that right now that GC Scored has going that really speak to you and that you're really excited about?
Well, sure. So one of the programs that we have is LOWS, and that is the Listening Oasis Wellness Space. And what we do is we provide wellness champions who will work with individuals who are challenged in some area of in their life, and we provide free coaching to them to help them learn how to be their own advocate. And so I really enjoy being part of this because I have an opportunity to help transform lives, and then have the opportunity also to see that transformation happen, and then have them, the people that we work with, share stories about how they are using what they have learned to then help their friends as well. And so again, this is free to anyone. And this is also global, right? So we have people from all over who will call in for this coaching and interact with wellness champions who help them make the change in their lives that they are really seeking. So
how do people find out about Lowe's? They just go to the website?
Yes.
Yeah.
They go to the website, and I will also say this is also a platform for that, right? So we also spoken about Lowe's here, and I know when Dr. Larrier and Dr. Geneva, anytime they do any trainings, they also share that message with people that Lowe's is an option for them. It's available because counseling is very expensive. You know, and people don't have money always to go to a counselor. They don't always have insurance. And one of the things that Dr. Larrier said from the very beginning is that this should be a right for people to be able to access this for themselves without being turned away because I don't have the financial means to pay for this.
And not only financial, though, there's a lack of professionals. The availability, the wait list is very, very long.
It is.
And so at this moment, I can't share what that data is, like one professional to however many, but it's a ridiculous number. And so Lowe's meets that need, and it is a telehealth line that everything that Vanessa just shared. But I want to share how it got started. And Yvonne, I'm just thinking that Lowe's this season is 3 years old, right?
Yes, yeah.
because Lowe's was birthed out of a response during the pandemic of 2020, when everything was shut down. Loved ones are in facilities, nursing homes, hospitals, and could not connect with their loved one who were in those facilities. Dr. Larrier recognized the need. In fact, she'd receive a call from someone from a particular facility, and they had that conversation. And the God in her, there's no such thing as no, as she said, right? We can respond to that. We have what it takes to respond to that need, and we did. She believed she could, and so she did. So we did that out of Lowe's, and now it has grown beyond. The target at that time was facilities, people who were in facilities, but we have gone beyond facilities to global, to individuals, to families, to youth. So it is incumbent upon us to continue to train wellness champions. So you heard Vanessa use the term wellness champion. And for those who may not understand, a wellness champion is in the status quo world, a counselor. So, but we provide the training for those individuals who provide that social emotional support to anyone who calls in. So we are very strategic and intentional about the language we use, because this is our way of eradicating stigma when it comes to mental health. Because when individuals hear the term mental health, already the term is a stigma. And so they will not engage, or because they don't want that label, attached to them, that they are mental,
right?
People would cause it. But those have been a dynamic service that was birthed in 2020 and continues to grow.
Yeah, and one of the things that is so true, and one of the things that our wellness champions or coaches, one of the things that we're doing, and by the end of April this year, we are going to be, our wellness champions are going to be board certified coaches eligible. Yes. So our coaches will have the ability, after they go through our training program, which is through IC, which is another one of our divisions, the Institute for Social Emotional Education. They will go through our program and then be able to take the exam, the national exam for board certified coaches, and become wellness certified, board certified wellness champions or coaches. That is we're just excited about that. We're so excited about that. Yes.
Well, what I'm excited that GC Scored has going on right now is specifically for the 10th year. GC Scored has offered these mini courses at $10 an hour. And it's just part of what Dr. Larrier, when Vanessa, how you said that Dr. Larrier, it's important to her that everyone across the globe, no matter where they're from, what socioeconomic background they come from, everyone has the right to problem solve and to retrain the way they think. And so I love that for the 10th anniversary, every month there are going to be these $10 courses that have gone out. I mean, already this year, January was the power of empathic listening. February was how to check back into your relationships around Valentine's Day, that they focused on that. In March, well, it was about bad attitudes. I actually took that one a couple of times. I may still be taking it. But, like, for example, April, everyone has a story. What's mine? May, feelings are messengers. June, spaghetti junction, everyone has one. July, behind every behavior is a belief. I mean, she has really taken such high level courses that would really cost people in other scenarios lots and lots,
hundreds of dollars,
and she's giving them to the world internationally at $10 an hour. It just, and right there, I was about to say, go to the website, because all of this is on the website, but you'll see that Sean, our amazing engineer who we can't see, has put up a slide about that with the QR code. It's just really important, guys. Access, not everyone,
Yeah.
we really got to let the world know you have access.
Mhm.
We're right there. We may not be in the room with you. You may not be on a couch in Dr. Geneva's office, or you may not be sitting across from Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier, but you have access, and they really have wanted to grow trees that bear fruit that everyone can pick from.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited about the mini courses. It's just a blessing.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And so I know we have another video from Nadine. Did you want to say anything about that, Dr. Larry, before we go to Nadine's video?
About the courses?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and all the courses are 2 hours or less. So you're paying only 20. The max you're going to pay is $20. Even if you don't want to use it, buy it for a friend. Give it to them for their birthday. Just give it to them just because. So those are things that and that is done under the division of the Institute of Social Emotional Education, where our focus again is about relationships. And some people ask the question, well, what does GC Scored focus on? You guys work in the schools, you have the camp, you have our focus is on relationships, right? I have the quote that says, as air is to life, so are social emotional competencies to relationships. They are like the air we breathe. So you would find that GC Scored is in every social setting. We're in the home, we're in the school, we're in the church, we're in the place of worship, we're in the community, we're on the sports field. The reason is because everywhere there's a relationship, that's where we are. They talk about Jamaicans. You can find a Jamaican anywhere in the world. That's what GC Scored is.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want to find GC Scored, you can get us wherever there's a relationship, there is GC Scored. And that is our goal. Our goal is to to educate, to equip, to engage, and to empower individuals to have the best relationships with themselves first and foremost, with others, and in diverse settings. We are educating you, equipping, engaging, and empowering individuals. And that is what we are about.
That's right.
If anybody asks you, what does GC Score do? We are the number one. We are your number one expert on relationship cultivation skills.
Absolutely.
Let's
And
play
if I could just
video.
share about equip. So she mentioned those 4 E's, but those courses is our strategy for helping to equip others. Those courses have activities and tools embedded in them to equip, and I want to speak to those who believe in prayer as I do. Some people they believe in prayer and keeping the faith, but that's all they do. We pray and then we release ourselves as if there's nothing else for us. But we all have a role. We have a responsibility to uphold in that prayer process, right? We should continue to believe in a divine intervention, but perhaps there's something that we can do. And these courses provides the tools that we can do. Oh, I didn't even know I had a bad attitude. Oh, okay, let me take this assessment. Let me check this out. The tools is for us to use in this day and time, in the here and now, and it should be done in conjunction with prayer, because prayer alone is not going to get it. The tools is the how-to and what you can do in conjunction with your prayer to get the answers that you need to whatever situations that you're involved in. So I do encourage people to go to the website or capture the QR code that's on the screen and get involved with taking these courses. It doesn't get any better than that.
Thank you.
Sean, let's play Nadine's video.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Nadine Isaac Dennis, and it's my privilege, my honor to wish GC Scored a happy 10th anniversary. Hip, hip, hooray! It's been such a wonderful privilege and honor for me to be associated or even to work with or to serve alongside GC Scored. If I think about these past 10 years, I first connected with GC Scored through Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier as a research assistant in 2011. And then I was in Trinidad after doing my master's at Andrews, Andrews University, where I would have met her. And at that time, I helped in collecting data for a study she was doing in the Caribbean. Then, over the years, as I continued my studies, I continued to work with GC Scored in various capacities, as a research assistant, as a consultant, as an editor on the board. I presented at the conference, and I've continued to collaborate, work, and facilitate, volunteer as a supervisor, whatever GC Scored needs, and I'm available to be able to support in whatever way. I'll be there. So, and GC Scored has contributed significantly to my personal and professional development. Throughout my years of study, the opportunities to present, to collaborate, and to observe and learn and to be mentored by Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier has been just a true joy. And so GC Scored means to me empowerment. GC Scored means to me making, improving lives. In fact, transforming lives, renewing minds, creating safer communities. GC Scored has a mandate to provide care, to provide tools, to provide skills, to help persons improve their lives, to improve their relationships. So I have so much wonderful memories of GC Scored, and it's serving in GC Scored. I think there are too numerous to think of to choose at this point in time. But I just want to say to Dr. Yvonne Murray-Larrier and her fantastic team, I want to pray that God continue to bless you, that He would continue to bless and prosper and expand this mandate, which is more than an organization, because it's built on a legacy of service, a legacy of contributing to the community. And I think the best part of GC Scored for me personally is that while there was the professional development piece for sure, the personal development, being held accountable, seeing growth, and being able to benefit from the very tools and the very skills that we try to teach and to dispense and share. It's been a true joy. So, has GC Scored fulfill their mission? I believe GC Scored is more than an organization and a mandate. It's a movement. So GC Scored has indeed fulfilled its mission, and it continues to do so. GC Scored is innovation. Every time I turn around, there's something new. There's a new arm of the organization expanding. There are new interventions. There's research. There's always something new to be added, to be able to find ways so that we could continue this mandate to renew minds, transform lives, and create safer communities. Congratulations again to GC Scored. What a wonderful journey. I pray that God will continue to bless in every aspect, and we pray grants and funding and resources, manpower, woman power, to be able to continue to be able to allow the work of GC Scored to expand, because it's making a difference in those who participate and in those who are impacted out there. Blessings, everyone. Happy 10th anniversary.
I am the Dean of the School of Education and Human Development at the University of Colorado, Denver. I was at one time the Dean of the School of Education at Indiana University South Bend. That was from 2013 to 2017, and I had the privilege and the honor to be connected to Dr. Yvonne Larrier and worked directly with GC Scored during that period of time. So I want to say happy 10th anniversary to GC Scored and to Dr. Larrier for all the great work that you have been doing. I had the distinct honor to have some opportunity at that time, as GC Scored was in its early development, to have some conversations with Dr. Larrier about what it would become and what it would focus on. And so I remember those conversations really being about impacting the world in important ways and doing work that was really meaningful and significant to communities across the globe. And I had the opportunity to participate in one of GC Scored's early conferences, happened to be in beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. And I remember leading conversations with mental health professionals about issues of race and really having some fruitful gut dialogue at that time. And so I just want to offer good wishes to GC Scored, to Dr. Larrier, and all those who have been involved in the commitment to renew minds, transform lives, and create safer communities. Happy 10th anniversary, and I wish you many, many more.
All right. So I just want to say thank you, Dr. Nadine, Isaac Dennis, and thank you, Dr. Marvin Lynn. And both of those people were instrumental, again, in moving GC Scored forward. My dean, former dean, Dr. Lynn, he was, as he said, was the dean at the time when GC Scored was, he was a new dean to my department. And he provided exposure. He advocated for us to get funding from the academic affairs. And he also participated. He brought his entire family to Trinidad to present at the conference. And so that was his contribution. And then we also had Nadine. Nadine sang the song that opened up the program on the B-roll. Nadine sang Keep on Climbing. Everybody was in tears after she sang that song. And so those were her ways of contributing at that time. But like she said, she talked about her research and all of that stuff that she's been, and she continues to support GC Scored. She continues to, I mean, she was instrumental in getting us one of our biggest contracts with Broward County in Florida. So again, it's about relationships. It's about relationships. So I thank them for all of that.
It really is.
Yes.
I see that Miss Gonzalez in the comments just said, congratulations to GC Scored. May God continue to bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You see the harvest.
Yes.
From seed to fruit trees.
From seed to fruit trees. Yes.
But, I don't want to leave this hour and a half without just looking forward. So I'm going to ask each of you, what is your dream or your goal or your wish, whatever it is, for the next season? And Dr. G, I'd love to start with you.
Wow, excellent question. Because of the vision and the mission for GC Scored, I'm committed to seeing that through. And most visionaries, the thing that makes them a visionary is that it's an ongoing work. It continues. And oftentimes, excuse me, the visionary doesn't get to see the fullness of the vision come to manifestation. Why? Because it's a living, it's an eternal thing. It continues, right? It continues. So what I envision for GC Scored is for the continuation of the vision. We've done a great work. I'd like for each one of the programs that was shared today be expanded all the more across the U.S. and the globe. I am grateful for the areas across the globe where we have boots on the ground. The word that comes to me is expansion. I just like to see us expand all the more, creating even greater access to all people across this globe. To have more people taking advantage of LOWS, the Listening Oasis Wellness Space. And it comes with first awareness. So, I expect that we'll continue to do to get word out, and all the more, we rely on our social media platform. Facebook is a great tool, and then having these podcasts twice a month. I expect to continue. We will do all that we can to create even greater access. So expanding and continuing to work towards the vision. The vision is not changing, and there's still much, much work to be done in that movement. I love that how Dr. Isaac Dennis mentioned, it's more than an organization, it's more than a mandate, it's a movement. And we may not have considered it as such, but I'm sure the great I am, and as we remain connected with him, we will be guided into that place. So expand, 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 creating more and more access. That's what I see.
And Laverne, I know you're going to be there for those late night calls and those long Dr. L discussions. But what is your vision, hope, or goal or wish for the next season of GC Scored?
I'm just looking forward to the new relationships that will be built. The professional relationships, the corporate relationships, the organizational relationships, personal relationships that Yvonne and her team and all of us will build in the coming years.
Miss Vanessa?
Yeah. So the same thing. I am just looking for, expecting just continued growth. I have honestly been amazed at everything that has happened since the time that I've been a part of this. And so I just believe that God will continue to lead Dr. Larrier, and that she will be obedient, and that GC Score will continue to grow, and as Dr. Geneva said, expand.
Yeah. So. I know that Dr. Larrier is working with all of you and spending late nights writing some grants right now. I just pray that all of the fertilizer you need is put in your hands to plant a bigger garden. So expansion is where I am as well. That's the word, seems to be the word of the day. But Dr. L, as we close out, what do you see for the next season of this thing you gave birth to?
Yeah, this 10-year-old. I see expansion, increased access, and the understanding that mental health, emotional education and wellness support becomes a right and not a privilege or a luxury for the few. And we will do whatever it takes, whatever God gives us in our hands to do, to use, to make sure that when I leave this world, and when we all leave this world, that people who didn't have access before would have had access as a result of the work that we have been entrusted with. And so that's my vision for the next season, however long that season lasts. And I'm looking forward to continuing this sisterhood. And we do have some brothers in the mix too. but these relationships, because our focus is on relationships. And
Mhm.
so that's what I'm expecting, and that's what I'm desiring. And I believe with all my heart that um, opportunity, hard work, but most importantly, God's spirit will make it so. It will make it so. So this Martha said in the chat, for the next 10 years, it is my sincere desire and prayers that GC Scored will continue to be sought for globally, and every soul that comes in contact with this organization find utmost peace and joy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Martha.
Yeah.
And we hope to get to Nigeria. Yeah, we hope to get there.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you guys.
So the next episode, what day is that? The fourth Monday, if somebody can put that on the calendar. The fourth Monday
April
is
24th.
April what?
24.
Oh, 24th. Okay, so that April 24th is going to be shorter. Well, let me not say that. Because it's our last show for season 2. This is season 2 of our ARC podcast. And I want to just say, I want to thank Laverne for showing up. She was one of our original hosts, and she made it a point of business to attend today, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you. And for the next season, what we're thinking of, season number 3, we're thinking of just putting this in your ear, having the show on Sunday evenings from the second and fourth Sundays of the month. That way we can have more engagement. And so it's an idea we're playing with, and so we will let you know by the April 24th show, which will be the last show for the season. Then season 3 will start in August. Okay, season 3 will start in August. We just thank you guys so much for those of you who are always with us. I'm surprised I didn't see
Loisland?
Loisland today. Yeah. But Martha and Thursa, I met Thursa this weekend at church, and she's looking for something to do. So I you know my statement. I got lots of stuff for you to do, Thursa. Somebody warn her, please.
Vanessa tried to. Vanessa tried.
And so everyone else, Caroline, I appreciate you. You're one of our supporters. You're also from Nigeria. Kalisha, Hyacinth, Purcell, Charles, my sister in Grenada. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in the Eastern Caribbean to get GC Scored into that system over there. We appreciate all your hard work. And she says here, GC Scored is the way to go. It transforms lives. Yeah, so just thank everyone. Then we have June Douglas, my cousin in Trinidad. Congratulations on your 10th anniversary. Caroline said, hi, Dr. Larrier. Happy 10th year celebration to you and GC Scored. Greater heights in Jesus' name. Congratulations. Then we have Tamara. Tamara. Congratulations, Tamara. She's from your neck of the woods.
Yes, of Charleston, former student of mine, and also a camp coach. She worked in our Rhumeritime Family Summer Camp.
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Tamara, for joining in today.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations. Joining in by YouTube. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys so much for all that you guys have done behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, late night, early mornings, blood, sweat, and tears, pulling the weeds, pruning the trees, cutting things back, and lovingly watering and just nourishing the fruit that is feeding so many people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every piece does matter. There's not one piece of what you've done that it doesn't matter. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And thank you too, Sabrina. Thank you too, Sabrina.
Yeah.
And we will be in connection again on the 24th. Join us again. April 24th at noon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I choose to only think of thoughts. I choose to only think kind thoughts. I choose to only think right thoughts. Rumor time reflects. When my mind is upset, I can change my mindset. Do not be thrown offset. Rumor time.
The rumor time process, and I came across this quote: behind every behavior is a belief.
Whatever setting you go to, whether you're at church, whether you're at school, whether you may be having
I was able to analyze a little bit more,
bringing about real positive
in order
changes.
for me to be effective, I have to be reflective. And this training
I gather an appreciation for reflecting. And I
take it from just something that's inside to getting it in a tangible form, getting it out from
fulfilling and rewarding to see the kids who coming and they sincerely growth in them. They became more reflective in their thinking, to see children grow and not just see but to be a part of it.
What I have learned in camp about rumor time is that it's a process for solving problems we face in our lives.
A lot of my stress, and then I begin to enjoy and spend time on the things that really make me happy.
I recommend this training to all age, from kindergarten.
Before you do that thing that you'll regret, or say that thing.
If you breathe and think, you should have this training. I would recommend this to everyone.